Took a girl to Disneyland on the first date. Not a
Took a
good
girl
idea.
to Disneyland on the first date.
date.
All in, how much would you say that day was?
Probably like a good 450.
Four
450.
four $450 on
Yeah.
the first date. All right, what's your name, man?
Hey, it's Jonathan.
Jonathan, nice to meet you, man. Danny. So let's get right into this, okay?
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about yourself. Like, what do you do for a living?
Yeah.
What's going on with life?
For sure. My name is Jonathan. Like I just said, I moved out to LA about 8 months ago from Boston, Mass. Drove out here, and I am a technical analyst full time, and then I do acting on the side.
So in terms of your job, how do you like it? Like, when did you start working?
Yeah, so I've worked there for like a little bit over 5.5 years now.
Okay.
So
Nice.
it's probably like a 7 out of 10. If you gave it a scale, I'd give it like a 7 out of 10. Like obviously, like you're not gonna like your job every day, but as long as I like my job, like 3 out of 5 days.
So I'm assuming over those 5.5 years, you've been getting raises, good salary, everything like that.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting environment. So after 3 years, you get a small slice of the company, but they always fire everyone like 2 years and 9 months in.
It's very
Like
specific. 2 years and
yeah,
9
2
months.
years and 9 months. So bring up like a petty email sent like a year ago. Like, hey, what did you mean by this email? Or like something very, very petty. And then you'll get the email like, hey, can you come to the office like on Friday? And they'll be like, oh man, I gotta get to let you go. But everyone's like on the verge of quitting right now. So it's kind of like dropped down. So like during COVID, we were making a lot of money because like all the other firms were closed.
Yeah.
Everyone's like back open. And so everyone's kind of like on the verge of quitting, including myself.
I was
Hey.
gonna say, don't worry, they probably
Hey,
won't
Tony.
see this.
That's why I do acting. It kind of like you use both sides of your brain. So that's really, really nice. It helps with like communication skills and meet new people. And so that's what I do for like fun to like my full-time job and then my acting thing on the side. So it kind of,
Yeah,
I'm not totally burnt out.
I like that. I like that. Although you would think that like people in the acting industry, no offense, aren't they kind of also like bigger assholes sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, if you're poor, no. So like majority of people who are actors are like poor.
Okay.
So
yeah.
it's either like you're poor, but you have daddy's money, so you're like technically rich and you don't have to worry about like acting every single day and
Yeah.
like taking smaller roles. But acting is just so much fun. You just show up, meet people, free food, get to see yourself on TV. Like I do a lot with the Discovery Channel too. So it's just like the best thing ever.
Let's get back to the job. That's
Okay.
it's really interesting to me. You work 45 hours a week ish, right? Kind of.
Maybe like 40.
40-ish. Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. And you're remote, so that's pretty sweet. What are you like? What did you start bringing in year one, and what are you at now in terms of like salary and stuff?
Oh, okay. Yeah, salary, I'm about like 80,000. So like
80,000?
80,000, and then acting I might make like 1,500 a week. I mean, sorry, 1,500 a month.
Okay.
I wish it was 1,500 a week, but
That I was gonna say that at that point you kind of can quit.
it's good. I just have like student loans from college.
Don't you start like paying them off when you graduate? Or?
So the ones I had with Citizen Bank, which was like, you might not know what Citizen Bank is, the East Coast Bank. I just got fleeced, and it was like a very, very high interest rate. They're like, I just went in and they were like, yeah, we can get you a loan. You're just gonna have to pay monthly, and it's gonna be like $400 a month. I was like, shoot, and that was for 5 or 6 years.
$400 a month.
Yeah,
for
400.
5 or 6 years.
I think it was like 340.
How much was the principal versus the interest? Like how much of that 400 was?
It was like I forget the specific amount, but the interest was just outrageous. Like it was just ungodly amount of interest.
Really?
Yeah.
You think like more than 50%, or do you
Oh,
know?
no, not maybe like, I don't know, like 13, 14.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I definitely-
actually. They really fleeced you. That's
yeah.
like double what it
I'm
is.
not a huge Citizens Bank fan.
Yeah, I wouldn't
And
be
then-
after that either. But you don't know the actual rate, huh?
No, I don't, offhand.
Did you figure it out at any point in those 5 or 6 years? You're like, let me see what this interest rate actually exactly is. How bad are they
Yeah, no, I did. I remember I did I had like an accounting class, and I had a spreadsheet down, and I just forget the like exact amount. But
Yeah.
I have those, and then I have like the federal ones that I'm still waiting for like Joe Biden to
He's not
forgive
gonna.
or
Yeah,
like.
that's not gonna happen anymore. I held my breath for that too. That's not happening.
Yeah, Joe Biden, where you're at, if you're watching.
Come on, just do this. Just this one thing for us, us students.
Yeah.
No, I know what that's like. I got a little bit of student loans myself, but they are not remotely close to this percentage, like double digits even.
Yeah.
I think the average is right now 7%,
Okay.
like 6 or 7% ish.
Yeah.
And even back in the day when how old are you?
I'm 26 now.
Okay. Yeah. So when you took them out, they should have been much lower interest back in the day too. Like,
Yeah.
they were like 4 or 5%, sometimes 3.5.
Yeah.
What school did you go to?
To Rochester Institute of Technology.
Oh,
in
nice.
Upper State.
Nice. I did my master's on the East Coast at UVA.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, I like the East Coast. Weather sometimes.
Yeah.
But so back to the job and the student loans. In terms of the job, right now you're making that 80K, right?
Yeah,
That's your
80K.
salary right
Yeah.
now. Are there bonuses or is that all in?
No, I haven't got a bonus yet. Sometimes we might get like a small gift for Christmas, maybe like a $200 gift card or like.
$200. That's it.
Yeah, $200 gift card to Target.
To Target.
Target.
Oh my God, dude. Well, at least it's not
Yeah.
Walmart. I mean, that's like second worst, but that's $200. And you've put in 5.5 years in
Yeah.
this place, and they don't no year-end bonus,
No.
performance bonuses.
No.
What is the incentive to go above and beyond? Like,
There's not too much of an incentive anymore. I mean, it's like remote, so they kind of get you by the throat there. It's like, oh, you're like, you can live wherever, and you can do this and that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like didn't even tell them I live in California. So
that's really messed up though, because even my company that I used to work for, like, as bad as our bonuses were for our industry,
Yeah.
like I still got like $2,000 bonus before
That's nice.
taxes.
Yeah.
Like, and that was like very low end. They were like, "Oh, we're performing badly this year. We're sorry." They apologized for it. We were
Yeah.
all kind of pissed, but it was still like $2,000, and it wasn't a gift card. It was like actual cash. But $200, Jesus. I
Yeah.
mean, I know people that get like a bag that literally this person worked for this company for 8 years, and this is a bank. They got a bag, and in this goodie bag was a bag of Skittles and a pair of Apple headphones,
oh, jeez.
and then a bunch of stickers from the company. And
Yeah.
I'm like, who rocks company stickers on anything? Like, who's walking around with their water bottle or laptop
Yeah.
rocking their company sticker? I'm like,
Yeah. The worst though, I knew this nurse who worked like the whole entire COVID, and they gave her a $75 bonus. They're like, thanks for working like the whole entire like pandemic. We're gonna give you like a $75 bonus.
that buys you like one Chipotle and maybe 3 Big Macs out here. That gets you 3 gallons of gas and like a Chipotle and maybe a Big Mac.
Yeah.
That's literally
You
it.
might as well just like not give anything at that point.
You might as well not slap the person in the face. Like,
Yeah.
that's just a 7. Wow. That,
70.
Was that a gift card?
No, it was like
Okay.
a 75. It was straight cash.
I would hope so. I'm like, that could at least fill up my tank. Maybe. Probably not if you have an SUV in California. Actually, that's not going to fill up your tank. So what did you start at like 5.5 years ago? What was your starting salary?
So I started around like 68.
68. And over 5 years, they've only given you 12K in
12K.
raises. Jesus, they really are milking that remote, like that one
Yeah.
pro that they have, your remote. So
Dangling.
they just, jeez. So every time you bring something up, like, hey, this kind of sucks, but the remote, that's 12K
Yeah.
over 5 years.
It's like, it's not like an overly stressful job as well. So that's like another perk. Like,
So you're hands off then, like you're not being checked up on, no one's breathing down your neck.
yeah, there's
constantly.
no like helicopter, like there's no helicopter parent syndrome.
I guess for them, they benefit because they only gave you $2,000 in raises every year. But you benefit because you have that low stress and kind of freedom and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So the job seems pretty easy from kind of a remote, nobody's over on, harping on you. Pretty chill. You're making 80K. Did they bump you for, oh, they don't know you're out here.
Yeah, so shout out to my job.
Yeah, they didn't. I was going to say, because they usually give you a little bit of a bump when they find out you're moving to California.
Yeah.
My job, when they found out I was moving to California, they're like, we'll give you a bump. I was like, oh yeah, cost of living adjustment, COLA. And I was like, okay, that's going to be like $5-10 more, right? Over the course of a year? No. $1,200 more over the whole year. I'm like, dude, that doesn't cover. Like that's $100 more a month. So this 80K, what's your monthly take home after taxes? I mean, I can kind of assume like what, 4,800, 5,000 something.
Yeah, it's like a little bit under 5.
Just a little bit under 5.
49.
4,900 after taxes. Cool. And then, oh geez, so your rent right now, you said you're paying 2,400.
Yeah, 24.
That's not bad. You don't have any roommates or anything though, right?
No, it's just like a shoebox of a studio. It's like you walk in and like the bed is here, the kitchen's over here, and a small little living space. But what I do is I have like my bed, my standing desk, and then like this bench press that I bought in this like small 401 square foot studio.
After we take out rent, that's kind of like half your salary pretty much after taxes is just going to rent, like literally almost 50% right there.
Yeah.
How much do you spend on other things then? Because that doesn't leave you too much room once rent's out of the way. Yeah. Like your expenses, what are they? Food and...
Definitely like hot dates. It's a big expense.
Dates?
Yeah, hot dates. Like I took a girl to Disneyland on the first date.
Wait,
not a good idea.
You took a girl to Disneyland on the first date.
Date number 1. Well, I met her at like a bar.
Yeah.
So, but that wasn't a date. It was just like I met her out. It wasn't like a Tinder situation.
Okay.
It was like, and then I went to Disneyland. And the thing about Disneyland that's really bad is like you're in Disneyland, you can't like drop her off like, hey, nice to meet you. Like if it's not going well, it's like you're her ride back. It's a full day activity and like you have to get to Anaheim.
That's why Disneyland's not a first date. Disneyland is like, I know this chick quite well. Like she's either my wife or we've been dating or 4 or 5 dates at least. You're like, I know this chick and I'm not going to hate her for like 12 hours because you're going to be there for at least like 10 or 12 hours. For sure. One ride is what, 4 hours, like waiting in line? Much?
That was like the first or second month I was out here. So I was like, that's kind of a mistake. So I was at the ticket booth and I was like expecting her to like pay her ticket, and then that didn't happen.
You can't expect her because she's like, this dude's taking me to Disneyland for a first date. He's loaded. He's going to pay for everything. You set that precedent right away pretty much by taking her there.
Yeah, it was a mistake. Shout out Emily. No second date.
Emily, pay for the photos next time or buy a $10 churro at least. Walk me through what a hot date is. I don't know that term.
Just a hot date in general or just...
Yeah, what is that term? I haven't heard it. Maybe I'm just too old now at 27.
I mean, it's just like, it's kind of a Miami term. So it's just like anything that's like super like extravagant or just like out of the ordinary, or things like most guys don't do. Like I'm a member at City Club LA, so that's cool to bring like people up there. It's on the 51st floor. You got like a view of all of downtown. So member there. I'm trying to be a member at Soho House. Shout out Soho House. But I'm still in the application process.
Dude, they charge a lot of money for like memberships, don't they?
Actually, Soho, if you're under 27, it's $1,800 a year.
Okay.
And they have a gym too, so I can just cancel like my YMCA membership, and then so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's like a good networking place. So
that's not bad.
They have one in WeHo called the Warehouse. It's super cool.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
But okay, so a hot date is just pretty much anything a normal dude would be like, nah, I'm not. Like a normal dude would be like, I'm gonna take you to coffee. You're like, no, I'm taking you to Disneyland
Yeah.
first date. Walk me through. Okay, first of all, I'm assuming this girl is mind blowing, either personality or looks wise, right? Like, she can't be mid. Like,
Yeah, no,
please.
she's cool. She likes to surf, has a motorcycle.
Who's the most lackluster? She's
Yeah,
she's cool.
she's I mean, like, it depends, like, LA standards or like Kansas standards. So if she was in Kansas, she'd be like a dime. Like, she'd be just stunning.
But you took her to Disneyland, so I'm assuming she's got to be at least a dime somewhere.
I think the situation was, I was like at the bar, you have like 4 or 5 drinks. I mean, you're not thinking clearly, and you think she's way hotter than she actually is.
Yeah.
And then you pick her up, and you're like, Emily.
Oh.
You're like, Emily, right?
Oh, geez.
But no, she's a good looking. She's cool.
In your head, were you like, when you saw her again, were you like, shit, maybe I shouldn't have said Disneyland. Maybe I should have said the parking lot across from Disney.
Well, I told her when I met her, like, yo, let's go to Disneyland as a joke. And I guess, like, I was joking, but she took it seriously. So it's like, oh, shoot.
And you didn't want to say, I was kidding.
I was like, just kidding. Makes for a good story, though.
How much did you spend on that date?
Yeah, so that's a good question. That's an unfortunate question. So the tickets were $189 each. We went to California Adventureland or theme park or whatever, and so that was like $189, and then we got Starbucks. I don't even like Starbucks. I got like a hot chocolate because I don't drink coffee, so
Yeah.
I made sure they added like extra whipped cream though. I was like, extra whipped cream, please.
Yeah.
So I think that was like freaking 25, and then we got food after. So
All in, how much would you say that day was?
probably like a good 450.
$450 on
Yeah.
a first date.
450. That's the bar now in LA.
That's, my friend, that's not, I mean, unless you're loaded, that is, my bar's like
Yeah.
way lower. Maybe I'm dating the wrong type of women, but 450.
450.
Did you at least smash for that?
I did not. No, I dropped her off, and yeah,
You 450 and you didn't smash.
I sure didn't.
Oh my! I thought that the Starbucks and I thought that would have sealed it pretty much.
Yeah,
That's
no,
good God.
nope.
Good God. Was that a wake up call for you, where you're like, maybe I shouldn't be taking girls on $450 first dates? Please tell me it was. No.
Actually, this one is less expensive, but it just was worse. When I was living back in Boston.
Did you say it was worse when you were living back in Boston, or?
No, this story, like this
Okay.
particular story. So, I met this girl, and she's like, "You need to pick me up in a Tesla." And I had like a Prius at the time, so it was like, "Oh man!" And I was like, "Okay, like whatever." I'll rent a Tesla. I was like, "Is the Model 3 all right?" She's like, "Nope, Model X or Model Y only." And I'm like, "Ah man!" And then you know what I did? I got the Model X.
No, I thought you blocked her. I was waiting for you to say, you know what I did?
No.
I blocked her, right? I told her to go pound sand. Like,
And that was $350. I got on Turo. Shout out Turo.
you got, they pulled a Citizens Bank on you right there. They,
Yeah,
because
Turo.
350's, how many days?
It was like a day, maybe 2 days.
They fucked you on that,
Yeah.
dude. Oh my God. You can now, well, here, you can get like a pretty high-end like Audi R8 for that price, pretty much.
Honestly, the Model 3 was like 120 or something.
That's why she didn't want
and
it.
I booked it like I was like had to book it last minute.
Did you get a refund for that at least?
No.
N-
We went out to this bar called Tits. Like it's called Tits, like Tavern in the Square.
Yeah.
And Lowell, like she lives in Lowell, which is like Lowell is like disgusting.
Why does she have such taste?
I don't know.
I hate this girl. Emily's looking like, Emily right now is looking like Mother Teresa to me. This girl is, she literally told you,
Yeah.
no, it has to be a Model X.
Yeah, well, Model X or Model Y.
She should be happy that she's getting picked up at all. Even you should have just been like, look,
Yeah.
if you're looking to save the environment, I got a Prius. It's still it's fuel efficient. It's hybrid.
It's actually a plug. That was a plug-in hybrid. So
Beautiful.
it's like
Be
30
like they
miles,
both plug in. Tesla
30
plugs in. This plugs in. What else do you want? We're saving
Basically
the
the same
environment.
thing.
Yeah, pretty. If you squint your eyes, like I'm blind, I take my glasses off. You squint really hard, they look the same.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so before the date even started, you're already in the hole for, you said the Model 3 was 130-ish,
Yeah, the Model 3 would have been like a lot less, and then the Model Y was like, I think 350 for 2 days.
So
Yeah.
you were in the hole already almost $500. And this is before the date even technically started.
Yeah.
You picked her up and you've already dropped almost $500. Tell me, please tell me she's at least a... Okay, I know she's not going to be a good girl personality-wise. I don't need to hear much more. This one sounds like she's... Shout out to, Kanye, Jay-Z, Gold Digger.
Yeah.
Okay, personality already sounds like a 0. Tell me she's at least good looking. Tell me you smashed. I'm going to jump ahead. We're going to get to the rest of it, but...
She was like an engineer at Raytheon, so like really smart.
Okay.
So smart, but like, yeah, not much. Very clingy though. Like I was on a 3rd date with her, and she was already sending like pictures of me to her mom. I was like,
it's like, Mom, I got this guy. He'll do literally what I say. He'll rent a Model X right now if I tell him to.
Well, it was funny because like, so the 3rd date, it was like me.
There was a 3rd date?
Third date.
You went again?
That was not my proudest moment.
Dude, brother, you went a first, second, and then you're like third time.
Third time actually, we went out to eat with her sister. And her sister was much more attractive than her. Shout out to the sister.
Oh boy.
But the sister wasn't like any like I'm like a dime. So like basically like she's not a dime. So but I had to pay for like their dinner and stuff, and
both of their
dinners? And myself.
Dude,
yeah.
Did she, over the course of these 3 dates, has this girl paid for anything?
Not that I remember, no.
And don't you think that, did you ever like think about that? You're like, maybe after date 1, I'll give her another chance. Because first date, I've paid for everything many times. Normal, it's fine.
Yeah.
Second date, they should start contributing something. Maybe a drink. Maybe if you pay for the food, they can get a drink, for you guys or something. Did you have any red flags like...
No.
No?
I should have had. Like, hindsight's 2020. So in retrospect, I should have been like, I'm an idiot.
Like this wall being painted red is what I would see. I'd be like, I've blown a lot of money on... Date 1 was $500. That's just the car. I'm assuming you guys went out for that and did other stuff that cost you money, not her. Date 2, probably same thing. Date 3, same thing. Did this go? This didn't go anywhere, did it? How many dates did you go on with this girl, and what happened?
On like 5 or 6, and then she was either like, we either start dating or it's done. And that was like 3 weeks in. I was like, I barely know this girl. Like, chill.
Well, she likes Teslas.
She did
not
like
Model
Teslas.
3s. We know that.
Yeah.
We know she likes to not spend any money and have you just milk you for your money. That's what we know. And then is that kind of how it ended? Yeah,
it was like, 3 weeks in, and I was like, oh, man. So just had to... Boston girls are like the worst, though. Like, the worst.
The why?
They're just like super picky. Like in Boston, the bar is just like you either go to Harvard or MIT or just a bum. So if you go to Harvard or MIT, you're just like scum of the earth. It's all about like what school you went to, who your daddy is, what town you live in, like what car you live in. I mean, what car you drive.
What car you live in.
Hopefully you don't live in a car.
Unless it's a Model X. But,
so yeah, Boston, it's like what people think LA is like on steroids.
I don't hear that. I mean, you usually hear that about LA.
Like,
and I'm just picturing in my head, you're like on your Tinder profile, Boston College, and the girl goes, ew, you go to Boston College?
BC.
Ugh. That's just kind of how it. I can't judge you because if this was LA, I'd be like, no, you can find much better girls. They're out there.
Yeah.
But I don't know enough about Boston, so I'm taking your word for it that this is just how it is.
It's the culture.
It's just the culture. Girls are all just kind of like that.
Yeah.
I'd be celibate. I'd be turning into a priest. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna hold off on. I got a Model 3 or a Prius, and if you don't like that, then we can get an Uber. Maybe we'll get an Uber, and the guy drives a Model X.
There you go.
So when you moved out here, did you start looking for the same thing in girls? Like, how was the dating? It seems like pretty expensive taste in dates. You took them to Disneyland.
Yeah.
It seems like that kind of translated over here. I don't know why I asked that question.
Yeah.
Tell me more. Like, why are you?
I don't know. Sometimes, like, instead of a therapist, you just go on hot dates. Instead of like, can you either pay for a therapist or you can just go on hot dates. So
but instead of an accountant, hey, just go on hot dates, dude. You are blowing a lot of money on these.
I know.
You're literally blowing. So, your take home being $4,900. You have pretty much. You can pay this girl's rent, like half her rent, pretty much, instead of take her out on a date. Yeah. And I feel like she'd like that more in a sense. You're literally giving rent money. Yeah. That level of money towards a date.
I know, it's tough out here. One of my friends actually out here, so he's in an open relationship and he has 2 girlfriends and he pays for like both of their rent. So one of them's in Vancouver, one of them's in New Jersey.
This guy loaded? Is he?
No, he's just like a travel nurse. He's just like a nurse.
You guys ever heard of this thing called like savings, like money for me, hey, growing my wealth?
That's why he lives in Crenshaw. He's just like short Filipino dude.
2 girlfriends.
2 girlfriends.
He's paying for both.
Yeah.
They know about each other at least?
I'm not even sure. I met him out in Boston. I didn't hear any of this story. Like, I didn't know he was like that. And then find out he's just, just wild.
I was like, you must be paying extra just for them to not know about each other. If they know about each other, it saves a little bit of money. If they don't know about each other, there's extra stress to make sure they don't. 50% of your money is going towards rent. That's like my biggest red flag. You ever considered like roommates, like lowering that down to maybe a more digestible number?
Yeah. I mean, I've had roommates in the past. It's just like, it's a mixed bag you're going to get.
I've had roommates for 5 years. I know.
Yeah.
Dude, you got crazy. I can't even fathom paying 50% of my salary towards rent.
Yeah.
Because that just leaves you 50%. That leaves you $4,900 minus $2,400. You have $2,500 left. At the when rent is gone, you got $2,500. That $2,500, if $600 of it or $500 of it is going towards hot dates, one girl, and that's like not monthly. That's like one hot date to Disneyland. You're left with pretty much like $1,900, give or take, approximately $1,900.
Yeah.
And you got a Roomba; those aren't cheap. What are you like? Well, how much are you spending on food? How much are you spending on expenses on yourself?
Yeah, well, like I make like an extra grand on acting, so it's like
we forgot about that. We forgot the balling on the acting. You're making that extra grand, so we'll call it like $5,900 a month. We'll give you that $1,000.
So sometimes it's $1,000. Sometimes months it's like $1,500.
So it's one hot date. Yeah, you work a month of acting, and you're like, I can take this girl out on a date.
That's how you like calculate stuff. It's like one hot date, 2 hot dates.
Yeah, like the equivalent to how many hot dates can I get from this salary?
Yeah.
Okay, I worked 4 weeks in acting. That's a Disneyland hot date.
Yeah.
Don't think like that. Damn it. Don't think like that. I want you to think of in terms of my savings account, because you're 26 now, right?
I am 26.
Yeah. And you have a good career. You're progressing in it.
Yeah.
It seems like you're competent enough to not have been fired, after 2.9 years. Not yet. Hey, you survived 2 cycles.
I did.
You survived 2 cycles, so you're somewhat competent at least.
For sure.
Not in dating. I'm going to say that. Not in dating, no, but I'll give you points for the job. But what are your savings like, dude? Do you have savings? I do have
savings.
Okay.
Incredibly. Actually, I have a financial advisor at Merrill. Shout out Jeremy.
How much are you paying? He's not advising you well. Jeremy, stop this man.
Jeremy Middleton.
Stop this man. Advise him. Why is he not stopping you? And give me a second here. Why do you have a financial advisor, and how much are you paying for a financial advisor right now?
Yeah, the financial advisor, it's like included.
Oh, it's included.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they were like, you can get a financial advisor. I was like, okay,
Okay.
I'll sign up. No harm, no foul. I just have like money in like a money market account, and that
Okay.
like fluctuates, so nothing like too extreme.
How much do you have in savings, checking, investments? Just walk me through your portfolio.
Yeah, so I have like around like 50, like 50,000.
50,000.
50,000.
Is this savings?
Just
checking?
in my like the Merrill account.
The money market?
Yeah, the money
Okay.
market. And then that used to make like 5%, which is really good, but now it's like, it fluctuates. So now it's like a little bit lower than that.
Okay, so like 2,500.
Yeah.
Okay, just in interest. That's pretty good. That's about 3 hot dates, maybe 4. That's pretty good. 5%. Okay. Do you have any money in stocks, crypto, any of that stuff?
No,
No stocks.
I used to have a REITs.
Yeah.
And those are great because they pay like really good dividends.
Real estate investment trusts. Yeah.
And then like I invest like in myself, like certificates and
Yeah. Self-investment, right?
Self-investment.
Self-investment. I can't hate on that, but okay, so 50K in the money market. Other than that, I'm assuming you're not much else then it doesn't. Nothing
Yeah.
significant, right?
Yeah, I mean I have like my car, which is like
That's not an investment. That's
Yeah.
that's a liability.
yeah.
What's your car?
I got a 2020 RAV4.
It doesn't seem like saving is your thing. Like you don't care if you have a lot of money, like accumulating, right? You want to use your money
Yeah.
for fun experiences and
yeah.
things like that, right?
Yeah, more of an experienced person.
And it's so weird. You seem like a risk taker, but not when it comes to stocks. You seem to play
Yeah.
it really safe, Like REITs are pretty much the safest thing you can really do, especially if you're diversified, different types of real estate holdings. But the money market account, why haven't you dabbled in crypto or anything like that? I'm not judging. I'm not telling people to go and do crypto, but like, why haven't you?
Yeah.
I would expect a guy like you, like to be like, yeah, I threw like 30 grand into, Dickcoin or Buttcoin. And,
I used to live in Miami, and that's like everything. So they have like, instead of the New York Bowl that they have in like Wall Street,
Yeah.
they have this crypto bowl in Miami.
Yeah.
And it's like gender neutral, and it like lights up. It's something else. They have like Miami coin. But yeah, I just
Miami,
never-
I was like, I could see you investing in Flaccid Coin or something like that, like something
Yeah.
dumb, and you're just like, I threw 3 grand in it,
Yeah.
fuck it. But you don't. Is it just because you don't like it, crypto, or you just any reason?
I don't know. It's just like, I mean, there's a lot of fees when you buy it, and I
Yeah.
just never was my thing.
Never. Yeah. Well.
Never was mine. But I think now it's like, I
I
think
mean,
it's up to 47 or BTC is
Yeah.
like pretty high.
you can get Ethereum for the price of like 4 hot dates, pretty much now.
Yeah.
Like BTC is like more like 10 or 20. So.
yeah.
But what about like, regular stocks? What about just diversifying your portfolio across like blue chips? Buying some Apple, buying some stuff like that. You ever thought about like
Yeah.
moving your money around
I've
a
thought
bit?
about it. I used to have a Robinhood account, I think in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So the Robinhood like account, I just just played around with it.
They make it really easy to lose money and make money, like
Yeah.
very simplified. on the
Robinhood's
phone.
like very gamified. Like the UX on Robinhood's like incredible. Like,
It's on purpose.
Yeah.
It's to kind of get a whole broad spectrum of people to use it.
Yeah.
You can go really deep with it now if you're an investor.
yeah.
Or you just look at it and you're like, oh, yeah, I can just transfer the money real quick, and
Yeah.
just click on a stock, buy. All these little
It's-
graphics come up,
It's funny how Robinhood works because it's like the name Robinhood. Obviously, you like take from the rich, give to the poor. It's like the opposite. They take your data and they just send it to all these rich firms.
Yeah, they take the data from the poor
Yeah.
and give it to all the rich people. Pretty much, it's
Yeah.
it's sick a little bit the irony behind it, but that's interesting. So 50K in save. I'm just thinking, dude, you could have so much more money.
I know. Yeah.
So much more money if you just took if for 1 month you got a roommate,
Yeah.
you didn't rent a Land Rover, you could just rent a Passat for 25 bucks a day, that's like literally almost like 5 or 6 times cheaper per
Yeah.
day. Get a roommate, take a girl to Starbucks maybe, or just take her to one of these really good Mexican places. You know, take her to don't do a movie, no, not a first date.
Mini golf.
You can get a movie pass. Take her to a movie. They have those movie passes now. Take a mini golf. Mini golf is like what, $40 for the two of you.
Yeah.
Food is gonna be a ripoff, but like $100 max.
Yeah.
Maybe $150 if you're going wild. You know, you really love mini golf. You're gonna do 3 rounds of that shit.
Probably pretty bad. I remember a few like years ago, this girl, and she was like, "I need to go ice skating. So I was like, "Whatever."
Yeah.
That was like $60 for like the skates and tickets, and she didn't know how to ice skate, so she did like a quarter a lap, and then she was like, "I don't want to do this anymore." I was like, "What?"
You paid for the whole day, or
They were actually on Groupon too, so I was like, "Should I do Groupon?" I was like, "Nah, I'm just gonna like."
Why didn't you do the Groupon?
I don't even know. It's like first date Groupon.
Oh my god! You're attracting the weird kind of girls, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, like, what is your Tinder profile like? Are you just like, hey, I got money and I'm willing to blow it up?
These are like all in person people that I meet.
You meet them in person, huh?
Yeah, I feel like Tinder is too many critters.
Yeah.
Just too many critters.
Tinder, it's gone downhill. It's pay to play now, pretty much.
Okay.
It's all either Instagram, OnlyFans, or pay to play. The way Tinder is you know, they used to be Tinder, Tinder Plus, Tinder. Now you have Tinder Gold, Tinder Platinum. They have a lifetime membership, from what I've heard. I haven't been on them in years. But that's what Match Group does. Is they just want to milk you for the money, and you know, if you are a top 1% guy, you'll get matches.
Yeah.
On the bottom 99%, you're just going to keep paying. You're just going to keep paying.
Yeah.
They keep you in that loop. What's your, like, you know, what are your goals? Like, do you have any, like, long-term goals? Because it seems like you've been with this job for a while. You like this job, and you're getting into acting now. Well, were you doing that in Boston, or is that something you started here?
No, they don't really have, like, acting in Boston. It was just, like, I get recommended to do it. So I was just like, hey, might as well try it out. And,
is that your long-term, back to that, like, what's your your long-term goal?
Long-term, I'm applying to, like, jobs right now. So just trying to I had an interview with NVIDIA.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out NVIDIA.
Good stock now.
I did not get it. I'd like to work for like a bigger, like Deloitte, PwC.
No, you don't.
Okay, no, I don't.
No,
something.
Really...
I need the prestige.
I applied to those firms. I thought I wanted to work there, but you don't. Trust me. It's. I mean, it depends how boring you want your day-to-day to be. Like, you're pretty much literally corporate lifestyle. It doesn't get more corporate than Deloitte. They have like, 1 million employees. I know Accenture has like 1.2 million employees or something. But what the big four are, I don't know, dude. I feel like my soul would wither away if I worked for the big four. I went for a smaller company, slightly smaller company, more boutique, but they pay good. I mean, they still pay good. Like, they probably give you better raises than this shit. Like, no offense, but offense to the company for 5.5 years and 12 grand. I mean, even for a remote, like, they can do better. They should do better. Like, you have crazy expenses. How much are you putting away towards savings every month? Like, once everything is gym membership, all this stuff's paid for, how much are you putting into that money market account?
Yeah, so usually like $350.
$350 a month.
Yeah, $350.
That's low. Why did you not want to increase that? Like,
I do, but I mean, you gotta live too. It's like expensive out here, and like
you can live
groceries, and gas, and trips.
But I don't even want. I want to ask about the groceries, but you can live. You can live nicely, and you can still save money. You just have to like cut a few corners. You know, maybe a roommate, maybe rent out your room for a day or two. You know, like let people use it as a studio. Let them, you know, use it as a place to maybe film. Or, you know, there's a lot of porn out there. Those people need sets.
Sure.
They'll throw you $500 a day, you know, to use that place. You just have to charge a cleaning fee, but you know, you could do that. Or honestly, get a roommate. Yeah. Stop the hot dates. Stop the crazy hot dates. You can do a hot date and take a girl out for $200, you know,
200.
150, 200, you can do it. Mini golf. You know what to do. You suggested mini golf,
I know.
but you're not doing mini golf. You're just suggesting, you know, like I can take them to mini golf, but I'm gonna take them to Disneyland instead.
Yeah, actually, my favorite one is we went to Mexico on the first date.
On first date.
First date to Mexico.
What?
It was my birthday, so you know, just like let's go to Mexico. And that's what we did. We went to Guadalupe and.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Mexico's cheap though, at least, right? Did you get?
I mean,
oh no,
say
not
that.
with you though. Not with you. People say that, but
People
not
say
you.
that, but I mean, the hotel was like $220.
Okay.
So it's just like everything's maybe like 10 or 15% cheaper.
Okay.
If you want to go super sketch, like yeah, you get things for like half off, but like if you want to survive, like, 10 to 15% cheaper.
There's an in between. You know, you don't have to do a mattress on the floor, but you also don't have to do like 2,400 and then hot dates on top of that and then all this. Because like, look, it's LA. I get it. Like things are going to be more expensive. It makes sense if you are doing like one of these things. Maybe the hot dates, but then you go home to your roommates and you're spending $600 on rent. Or maybe you're spending the 2,400, but then you go much cheaper dates. You know, or maybe you have a really expensive car, but the rents and the dates are lower. Like one thing can be high as long as the other things are lower. But it seems like you're just like across the board. You're like, I gotta survive, man. Land Rover, I need that per day. The apartment, I need that. 2,400, no roommates. Hot dates is a must. Mexico first date, Disneyland. Have you had a normal first date? Just.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Oh my god, dude! If I was a girl or if I was gay, you would be a catch. I would be clingy too. I'd be clingy too. I'm like, can you get me a graphics card? Like, I need a new PC. I need a new laptop. You could save so much if you just cut one of these things down, whether it's rent or dates or which one can you give up? Like, I'm gonna ask you. I already know the answer. You can cut all of these down. Roommates. Mini golf dates, McDonald's dates, maybe something between McDonald's and mini golf, or, you know, just move your money from money markets, spread it out, buy more stocks, dabble in some crypto, safe stuff like Bitcoin, Ethereum. The car, it's a Toyota. I love it. I'll give you points for that. I'm not going to knock on that. That's actually a very smart decision. But which one of these do you think you could cut back on? Because you want that money to grow, right? You want to take home more than $250 into savings, right?
Yeah, that's true. I think like just a roommate, just have like a 2-bed, 2-bath.
The roommate,
pay like 15, 16.
I like how you didn't say hot dates. You're like, I need to do those. I need
those
those Disneyland.
You know, you can't. You just like it's like eating, breathing, hot dates. It's just like you just got to do it.
Oh well,
necessity of your life. Like just live in a tent on the sidewalk.
As long as I'm taking the girl in a Model X to Disneyland, I can. You're willing to have a roommate. Yeah. Which I hate roommates too. Look, I don't like roommates, but like in certain situations they're called for. But your situation, they're not necessary. Yeah. You know, you're a single guy, you're making good money, you're remote, you have a lot of good things going for you. Like, have you paid off your student loans?
I have like 18,000 left.
18,000. Okay, that's like 20 hot dates. Literally, if you just don't go on like 20 hot dates, you could pretty much 25 hot dates. Literally 25 hot dates. You could pretty much pay off your student loans, dude. That's the thing that gets me is like you're willing to put up with a roommate.
A roommate. That's my sacrifice.
But still take random girls from the sidewalk out to Mexico and Disneyland. That's insane. Yeah. That's insane. So that's the hill you're gonna die on. Is like the hot dates can't give, but I'm willing to take on a roommate, but I'm dying on that hill. Hot dates.
It's just like, just need it. Just need it.
If you get a roommate, or even two, or just even one, you would be saving half at least, $1,200 a month. Yeah. It's a lot of money going back in. That adds up to $1,200 a month, and you know maybe pay off those student loans, like $400 a month are your student loans. You said for the people that ripped you off. That's 3 payments right there that you could make. 3 lump sum payments, bring down the principal. You'd be paying less interest on the whole thing. That's a really good idea. I'm thinking like, you don't even need a roommate. If you cut back on 2 hot dates, that's $1,200. That's like pretty much no roommate. And you just go on 2 less hot dates. Do you want me to give you like a little plan
Yeah,
to
give me a
help you?
rundown.
I'll give you a rundown.
Give me the rundown.
The biggest expense you have that's like kind of just it literally is 50% of your salary. Like $2,400. That's the 50% of your money's gone right away. And then you got the student loans that's just hanging over your head like a cloud. You have credit cards. How are your credit cards looking?
I just have one Discover.
Just one?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it not maxed out or?
No, I only use it because they have like some months they have like 5% back on like gas or whatever. And then I'll just use that category.
Okay, you're smart with that. That's fine. One credit card. It's how much do you have on it in terms of balance? How much you hold?
Oh, I just pay it off.
Oh, you pay it off.
Yeah.
Okay, dude, you're smart when it comes to a lot of. That's what you have the ability to like really like make a lot of money because the money that you're saving, don't just put it into a savings account. Like the money that you would be saving from what I'm going to tell you, you can, and I did this for a living, like with companies. When I was a management consultant, we pretty much did this, but on a much larger scale with Fortune 500s. But for you, like pretty much the same type of thing I would do for them is there's so many places where you can cut costs and it can add up. And then with those savings, you can just put those either into, because you live here, you can't really mortgage a place. My suggestion would be, since you're remote, you can go to a place like Nevada. You can go to a state that's like right here, 4-hour drive away, Vegas. You can always come here on the weekends. It's literally a 4-hour drive or $20 plane ride. $20 will bring you here on the plane. Yeah. And you could buy a place, mortgage that place, obviously, and put some money down, mortgage it, rent it out. You could even live here, With the savings, you can get a 2 or 3 bedroom house right now in Vegas in a pretty decent area for $2,400 a month. $2,400 a month, you just rent the place out, $3,000 a month. You own a piece of property at this point, your mortgage is covered, and you're making $600 a month. And that's like you own a house there too now, in case anything ever happens here,
Yeah.
But in order to do something like that, and that's if you want to own property, because it sounded like you were into real estate a little bit, at least real estate investing, right?
Yeah.
If you want to go the other way, you don't have to take the savings and put it into real estate, because you live in LA, and realistically, real estate is pretty much cut off for you until you hit these days 300,000-400,000 in income. Pretty much real estate's cut off. You're not going to find anything around here for under $1 million.
I mean, California's tough. All the like tenant protections too.
Yeah, it's not a place that. So if you're gonna go, with the savings that I recommend, if you're looking for a place to put that money and real estate is something you're considering, I would say other states.
Yeah.
Vegas, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, even Oregon, anything around here. Much cheaper, significantly cheaper.
Yeah.
Texas, maybe don't do it, property taxes, but
Scottsdale's freaking sweet though. Obviously Scottsdale's pricey, but
it is.
Scottsdale's really nice.
The suburbs just outside of it, like it's a sprawl. So like the suburbs just outside of it, you can get pretty good deals. Honestly, they're constantly starting to build again. Like you can get some pretty good deals out there. But in order for that to happen, like let's talk about how we can get you enough money to do that, to put a down payment to mortgage. Because right now you're $50K, that's pretty good. If you would put something like 20% down, you could get a house that's maybe 250, 300, 350,000. That will get you nothing in LA. That won't even get you a parking lot in LA, but that will get you like a 2-bedroom, maybe 2-3 bedroom house in Las Vegas, like pretty good house. But in order to get those savings, we have to figure out where we can save some of that money. Biggest thing is rent. That's the biggest outright thing. You get a roommate, you're instantly saving at least $1,200. you can maybe milk the guy to cover more than 1,200, 1,400 or something.
Yeah.
But if you want to be fair to him, you'd at least save $1,200 right there.
Mm.
That's half a mortgage. If you think about it in terms of, this is just my consultant brain, like, I just constantly think about, okay, what I can do with that money. With that 1,200, that's half a mortgage, man. That's half a house that you could own in Vegas, pretty much. And you can buy more and more properties, and it can just keep growing and growing over time, you know. But first property, that's half a house, $1,200. That's if you get a roommate here. A lot of people don't think like that, but that's literally what it's like. $1,200, you get a roommate. That's half a mortgage for a nice house in Vegas. If you cut down those student loan payments, if you start making more towards those student loan payments, right? Try to pay it all off. I would say maybe with that interest rate, dude, like if it's still that 13% interest or whatever it is, pay that off.
Yeah.
That's horrible. That's like a cloud hanging over you.
They have you pay off the interest first.
Yeah, of course they do.
Yeah.
They always do. At some point, you will be paying more in interest than you are towards the principal. Pay that thing off, dude.
Yeah.
You don't want that hanging over you. Like, the biggest thing I can recommend, and like, I like you because you are really smart about certain things. Like, you're doing really good in terms of credit card, you're holding your job down, like, you're doing really good, and there's a lot of potential for you to make money.
Yeah.
So like I'm really into like wanting you to have that money available to do stuff with, other than like dates and stuff. So the biggest thing I would say is in terms of paying off those loans.
Okay.
Pay those things off, because like at that interest rate, over the course of, what you say, 5 or 6 years, you've been paying them off, or when did you start paying off?
18. So that one with Citizens is already paid off. It's
Okay, that one's paid off.
Yeah, it's just the federal.
Okay.
Like 18 in federal. So, and then I've been paying it off like monthly, because I thought I was gonna get forgiven, so I wasn't gonna be like, oh man, I'll just like, just pay the whole 18 when I'm like Biden.
Yeah. I mean, at a certain point, look, if you had a crap ton of loans, like if we're talking like 50,000, 80,000, 100,000, something that's like very much unpayable, on your salary, then I would say, make those minimum payments, make those payments every month, and it will be forgiven over the course of 20 years or something. But this is very doable, and it's not worth it for you to pay just interest. That's just money you're losing pretty much. I would say pay those guys off.
Okay.
Just because of the interest on those, because you don't have to worry about credit cards. You're paying those off. That's the biggest thing most people that I talk to, they struggle with, is credit cards. You don't have that worry. You only have, and this is the only debt you have, right? I'm assuming, or the car too.
I paid cash for the car.
You paid cash, okay. Yeah. So, dude, you're in a very, very good position to be making a lot of money. Like, you pay this off. You pay those loans off, and that would be an extra, we say $400. You'd have $1,600 more a month. $1,600 more you take home every month with the roommate and paying these off. Now we get to the other part, the dates. Can you keep dates hot for under $500-600?
A month? I mean,
is it a month or is it each date? Because it sounded like it was each date, right?
Yeah.
Like you go on one date a month. You're going.
Actually, I made the girl in Mexico split it, the hotel. So it's a half.
I gotta give it up. Okay, good. At least you made her. Was she at least willing?
There's some kickback. There's some like I don't know.
How was there kickback?
It was tough because she also went with her friend, and her friend's probably like 25, and then he's like maybe like 45 or 50, and he's like private equity dude, like really
he's
successful.
Making a lot of money.
He's banking.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to contact him on Instagram. He's like not getting back to me. So shout out you. I'm not gonna say his name, but shout out. Shout out.
Why is he not covering everything? Private equity guys should be.
I know. Actually, true story. We went out to dinner, and like I didn't even see the bill, but the bill must have been like over $1,000. It was like Michelin star restaurant or whatever.
Yeah.
And it must have been like way over $1,000. He just like picked it up.
He picked it up, not you. Okay.
I was like sweating. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to split it with this dude. But
Like, this is a really hot date.
my birthday.
This is like a sizzling date. If oh my, that's crazy.
It was so
though.
sketchy. We couldn't get like a Uber, so he got us like this like cab, and then we drove on a dirt road to this like super nice Michelin star restaurant, and like everyone there was white, so I was like, okay.
This is in Mexico?
Yeah, in Mexico.
Okay.
Guadalupe.
That's insane, but good thing he picked it up, dude. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, that's half your rent again. It's
Yeah.
a little less than half the rent again.
That's
God
like,
bless private equity guy. It's like 1% of his bonus.
Yeah.
So, but
shout out Albert.
he can do that stuff though.
Yeah.
You should not be doing that. Don't do that.
Can't emulate.
Yeah, no, can't be doing that.
I just wanted a job with him, but it's all good.
But so the thing is, can you see yourself like how many of these dates are you going on every month? I don't think we discussed that. You said you
That's
cut
a good
back.
question.
Yeah. It is a good. I hope you know the answer.
That's a good question.
I hope you're keeping track of the answer.
Usually like 2 or 3 times a week.
Wait,
Two or three a week.
2 or 3 a week?
Yeah.
A week.
2 or 3 a week.
That. Oh my God, that explains why the 350 is all you're taking home. 2 or 3, dude. That's not, how many were you going on before? You said you were cutting back.
I mean, it's just the Miami lifestyle. It's just what you do out there.
I mean, now it's 2 or 3, right? Now it's 2 or 3 a week. That's a lot of money, dude. That's also a lot of. How do you have it in you to go on that many dates every week?
It's like a free therapist, or like not free, but
You're not. Are you using them as therapy? Like you're just unloading on these girls day one, like.
Just free therapy, Instead of better
it's not free therapy. It's literally the opposite. I think therapy is cheaper. I think therapy is cheaper. Therapists charge maybe like 300, 400. You're doing more than therapy. It is not free. It's not free therapy. But what are your other? Okay, we covered all of that.
I get a YMCA membership.
But there's no. Do you have any other crazy expenses, like crazy one-off things that I should know, or like recurring things that we can cut out, or?
Not that I can. Obviously, like.
You don't have much after these hot dates, dude. Let me think. Why am I asking? You don't have much left over after these hot dates. I'll take back what I said about the student loans. Let's just rewind.
Okay.
Let's rewind all that. Fuck the student loans. Those are nothing. That's a drop in the bucket at this point. Cut back on the dates a little bit. Like one date a week, even one a week. If you do that, you would be. If you cut back one date.
Hot date or just mid?
Do you do any other kind of dates? Because so far I haven't heard it.
Just gonna bring it to the extreme. Usually I go on ChatGPT and I'll like type in like Santa Monica best places like.
For $1,000, where can I take a girl? Santa Monica.
I have 4 hours in Santa Monica first date. I'll just like give you like ideas. Like first start here, then go here, then go.
Your ChatGPT doesn't know your budget. ChatGPT doesn't care about you having a house or something. ChatGPT is just like, well, Santa Monica, this guy can,
screw this dude.
Take her, here's a 3 Michelin star place. There you go.
Yeah.
Dude, if you, I mean, I'm literally doing the math here. I've been doing the math this whole time. If you cut back on one hot date a week, one a week, so you're saying 2 or 3 a week, right?
Yeah.
One a week, that's 4 a month. Times, I would average it about 400. You know, let's call it. I'm not going to say 600 because that hurts my soul. 400 times 4, 1,600 a month. You are looking at, dude. You'd be looking at around $3,000 with just all you have to do, and this isn't even crazy. You don't even have to take on a second job. All you'd have to do, get a roommate.
Yeah.
Just get one roommate, and one less hot date a week. That will save you around $3,000 from everything I've gathered here. That will save you about like $3,000.
Yeah. When I'm at drinks only. That's my new rule.
You what?
Drinks only.
Drinks
only. No, I implemented that. I think last month or like a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
So it's like a drinks only policy.
And the drinks, I'm assuming, aren't going to be like, they're not going to be
215.
brought over on gold, like platters or Michelin star drinks.
So it's like usually like under 70.
Dude, that's really
It's a
good.
drinks only policy.
That's really good, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what most first dates are. That's what most first ones are. Second ones can be mini golf, movie, normal things. You know, get to know the girl, because
Yeah.
at a certain point, you're also not attracting the best types of girls if they're just the Model X girl. That's not a girl you want to long term.
She really wasn't that attractive.
Someone who says you need to pick me up, in a certain. Bitch, who do you think you are? I don't need to do anything. I'm gonna pick you up out of courtesy, and I'm gonna take you somewhere, and I'm gonna pay for you, but I'm not picking you up in your dream car. Like, no. That's the biggest red flag right there, you know?
Yeah.
Because at a certain point, you know, if you take these girls on all these crazy hot dates as a first date, you're setting a bad precedent, and you're not going to attract good girls, because you are getting into that hopefully age where, are you looking to like maybe settle down later on, like have a family later on, or
maybe
you thought
we'll
of it?
see. I haven't really thought that far out.
I can't blame you, but there might be a day where you're like, I want to date this girl. You meet a girl and you're like, or you are at a point in your life where like, I want something maybe a bit more long term.
Yeah. I only like usually I only like Southerners though.
Southerners.
Shout out to Southerners, like North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia,
You can find.
Tennessee. I haven't found too many. I've only found one Southerner out here.
You're not gonna find a lot of them out here, but like,
Where are the Southerners?
if they don't like LA that much. I'll tell you that. But yeah, dude. With the other thing, other than the cost savings, which are significant,
Yeah.
is you're not going to attract the best kinds of girls all the time. You're going to attract girls that are going to be gold diggery, like they'll keep going out with you because they know they can get extremely nice things, extremely nice dates out of you, you know? And those aren't the ones you want to always be attracting, you know?
Yeah.
Unless they are, but then don't do it, like, you know? Maybe if you hit Andrew Tate level net worth, then you can start doing that. Having 12 girlfriends, hot dating all of them at the same time, that's fine.
Yeah.
But at this income level, life can go one of two ways right now, you know. You can keep doing that and having only $350 a month, you know, or you can save literally with one roommate, and this is again nothing crazy on your part. Just get one roommate, cut down on one hot date a week. That's 4 less a month. That's at $400. That's $1,600. Add that up with the $1,200 in savings. We're talking like anywhere between $2,800 to like $3,200, depending on how your student loan situation goes. Dude, that's almost $3,000 like a month. That $3,000, dude, you can East Coast. You can mortgage a house. $3,000 a month.
Yeah.
You can mortgage a really nice like 2 or 3 bedroom. Drive out there, look at some of the properties. They're close enough. If you start understanding the real estate market, if you don't want to move to Vegas or if you don't want to move to Scottsdale, you're close enough to where you can at least buy a property there and rent it out, you know? And even if you don't rent it out, you could literally you could afford to mortgage a property out there, and then you would own a house and you would still live here, you know? That's crazy, because you could really it's very easily attainable for you, you know? Is that something that sounds like you might want to do?
Yeah, I've been like trying to research some stock. I took a stock course.
Yeah.
So that was interesting, and trying to dabble a little bit more into that.
Stay away from options.
Okay.
The biggest advice I can give you: stay away from options if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And no offense, but it doesn't sound like you're deep into the stock market. You're not a Warren Buffett when you get home, right? Yeah. Stay away from options. Looks like you can make a lot of money, but a lot of people who don't know what they're doing, they lose it.
Yeah.
Don't do what institutional people do. Stay safe, dude. You don't need to go crazy with the stock market. You don't need to do anything crazy. You are in a pretty good place. And if you just cut back on the extravagant stuff a little bit, not even that much, just a little bit, you'll have more money at the end of each month. That money, you put it into blue chip stocks. Right now, the tech sector is booming, dude. You put $50,000 into the tech sector, next year you could have 20-25% returns.
Nice.
You could be getting like making that 50, $70,000.
Yeah.
keep adding that up, buy another house, mortgage another house.
Yeah.
In the next 10 years, by the time you're 36, like, dude, you start seeing the difference. I know it's hard now because we're in our 20s. I'm 27. It's hard to kind of like think about that, right? But when you see those guys who are in their late 30s or like 40s and they have multiple properties, they drive really nice cars, they didn't start in their 30s or 40s. They started in their 20s. They started making these little decisions, and I've talked with a lot of these rich people. They started making little changes, little decisions in their 20s, and those built on each other. They kept adding up. Like, I know it doesn't seem like a lot. You're like, oh, maybe it's $2 or $3 grand saved each month. To me, that sounds like a lot, but to some person it might not. But it adds up. 10 years from now, that $2 or $3 grand you've been saving every month now, if you're smart about it and you put it into good stocks or you put it into a property, you'll be 36 and you will be able to take 10 girls on hot dates at the same time. You'll be balling very well.
At that join point. The California Club.
You'd be the top member, dude.
Or the Johnson Club.
You could join all of them. You would be an elite member.
Yeah.
You could be like Diamond, Sapphire, Platinum with Delta, whatever Ruby they have or whatever it is. But nice. All right.
Sweet.
Well, thanks for coming on, dude.
Likewise.
That was awesome.
Thank you so much.